Ladies and gentlemen of the chamber, I urge you to look at this amendment in a different way. We all come from a different walk here in life, and it's no secret that I own and operate a restaurant in Waterbury, and I have a story to tell about this very issue. I had a restaurant that had an individual, I'll call him Jason, that was born not too far from my restaurant, and he was a frequent customer, and he came in with his parents quite often. And as Jason was growing up, you knew that he had a problem. And his problem was, I guess he was confused. He didn't know his identity. And we accepted Jason. Me and my staff, we grew to love him, just like every other customer that we know. But as Jason grew older, and he started coming into the restaurant alone, one day, I heard a scream come from the hallway of my establishment. My staff immediately came into the kitchen and notified me that there was a problem. When I went to figure out what was going on, there was Jason, visibly shaken. Jason entered the ladies' bathroom. And in the bathroom was Mrs. Brown, who at the time, God rest her soul, was 80 years old. She was visibly shaken. Visibly shaken. I didn't know what to do. I know Jason. He's been in our restaurant so many times. We accept him. There's no problem. But when it came to Mrs. Brown and others, there was a serious problem. And me as a restaurant owner, I had to make a determination on what to do. So I thought it was only fair, because I knew Jason, is to ask him, when you need to use the facility, please let me or the staff know so that we can make sure, if you're uncomfortable with using the men's room, we'll make sure that we clear the way for you. I share this story with you because I really think it's incumbent upon this chamber to realize that there are issues out there when it comes to this very issue we're debating here. It's not just black and white. We would like to say that, people have a problem and they should be accepted. They are. I don't think I discriminate against anyone. I earn my living by providing meals for people. And it doesn't matter to me who those people are. And we accommodate everyone. But these issues arise, and you don't know what to do. Now, bigger establishments might have unisex bathroom where, men and women can use. But when you're looking at little mom and pops restaurants or stores where there's clearly a men's room and a ladies' room, these are serious issues. And the public doesn't accept them at all times. So I ask you that if this amendment is adopted, I think that this bill could be really manageable, even in the public view. But even if we pass this bill, we're going to still have these issues that are out there, and there's going to be many people like myself that own businesses that are not going to be sure what to do when this arises. It's easy to say, well, he has the right to use any bathroom he wants, when you have a restaurant full of people saying, hey, wait a minute, what about my rights? I don't want to be subjected to that. He's a man. In my eyes, he's still a man, even though he wants to use the ladies' bathroom. And then you look at Jason, you say, well, he's a confused individual. I've known him since he was a kid, and I understand that, he's a human being, and you want to respect his rights. So let's just think about that for a minute before we just go and reject these amendments that are being brought out, because these are life instances, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, and they're not cut and dry. We need to really think about it. Your constituents are the same as my constituents. Mrs. Brown was a lovely lady. She loved everyone. But she found it offensive, and it rocked her to her very core, where she was in tears. She was visibly shaken, and I'll never forget that, because of this experience that she had to go through. She didn't go out to dine that day to be subjected to that, and Jason didn't mean any harm by it. But as a restaurant owner or any owner, you stand there and you say, what do I do? How do I solve this issue? And by allowing this amendment to stand, I think it gives everybody the latitude to say, okay, wait a minute. Let's be fair here. Let's not discriminate, but let's come up with a reasonable approach. And that's what this would do for someone like myself. I thought I came up with a reasonable approach, because Jason's been in several times after that. And if he has to use the facilities, we accommodate him. But if you pass this, then there's no accommodating. It's just going to be a bunch of people that are going to be angry. And if you have people that live in your community and in your area that frequent your place, and if they alienate other people, then I'm going to lose other people because of the fact that I can't accommodate everyone. So please, when you think of this amendment, just think of that story. It's not discrimination. I don't want to discriminate against anyone, but it's just common sense, like that word that's been used here so often.